Hi everybody, I hope you're doing fine today. Last live I was talking about my book actually, and I don't want to go in my story right now, into my story, but I want to continue a little bit the topic in a way that, you know, in my book I'm talking about that the way we want to transform the world is by opening our art. This is the way we should connect and shine and bring our light forward and connect our light all together. And it's a book where I hitchhike the whole country, Canada, of course. And yeah, when we are thinking about hitchhiking, we the first idea we have in our mind because of our conditions, it's about the crazy hitchhiker that just like the murderer hitchhiker, the risk that we take for stopping for hitchhiker or for hitchhiking. And we're taught so much about the fact that we should not trust everybody and everybody is a threat to us. And right now with the transformation we are in, it's even more obvious that this is what they want us to think, that we need to like close ourselves and to shut ourselves and not to open ourselves to the other because the government will provide anyway. And I think this is a false narrative. We have a transformation to do. The transformation that will happen will come with the art. It's the art chakra here, and we have to open our art to talk with people, to let them in, to connect our inner light with those people. And this is the way we're going to help for a positive transformations. But the big question, actually, the big question is, but Mick, how can I open my heart? It's so tough, and in that world, it's how can I do it? I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to put myself in risk. And the answer, it's by knowing yourself. You have to know yourself in a mind, body, spirit kind of a way. You need to know your mind. You need to know your body. You need to know your spirit, and bring a balance all together to be able to open your heart after that. So right before getting in the topic, I want to say that yesterday I did that live with you or without you guys because after talking like an hour and more about the topic, I realized that YouTube wasn't working, so I was kind of bummed out about that. But at the same time, it made me realize that I was not completely right about what I was saying. So I changed a few things today. Actually, I've been talking about that topics to my friends and surrounding for at least 8 years, if it's not more. But there's little things that I didn't understand well, and I want to talk to you about it too because it makes more sense. I always talked about making a balance between those three and between the emotions too, but actually it's going to be more a step to follow, some steps to follow. It's going to be the mind first. I was putting the body first, but it's going to be the mind first, the body after, and the spirit after. And we need to follow that order to be able to open ourselves. And what I'm going to talk to you today, it's going to apply to work on yourself. It's about working on yourself and know yourself, your own God, your own light. But at the same time, you can once you know your own light first, you can connect with people, but also you can see how the transformation is happening out there. When you know the God inside of you, the universe is inside of you, and when you realize it, but with your mind, body, and spirit, you can see outside and see the universe as it is and the transformation in the universe. So you can a little bit know more that transformation from outside perspective. And also third, um, I think you can use that knowledge that I'm gonna share with you today for your day-to-day life, to be able to anything that can show in your life, show up in your life. You can take it and see it as a matter of mind or body or spirit, or the three part, by the way. So it's gonna be a few tips of or another view of ourselves that can help you or help us in many ways. And I was putting the body first, but mine will come first for two reasons. First, I compare a little bit like knowing ourselves, like building a house. You know, it's your own house. Finally, it's your temple. Your body is your temple, of course, but you don't want an empty temple too. So before building a house by yourself or buying a house, if you want, you need some knowledge. You need to work your mind into it to know how to do it, to know how to build it. Because if you want to throw yourself into it, it's going to be a little bit hard to build a house by yourself without any knowledge. So it makes sense that the mind will work first. After that, you're going to build it with your body, your physical capacities, and the house itself will be your physical capacities. And after that, you want to decorate it and you want to make it as you want, as you like. You want to be comfortable to open your house to everybody else because you're so comfortable and so proud of how your house make you feel that you will be able to share it to everybody and to show it to everybody and to welcome them to for them to be comfortable as well in your house. This is a little bit how I see it, you know. So mind and then body and then spirit. And in the transformation we're in right now, we see a lot of revolution out there. A lot of people are saying we're living a big awakening, and it is the case. But at the same time, we also see a lot of revolution, a lot of anger and negativity out there against the government, against the people who are not waking up. And that transformation is mainly mental, mainly mind oriented. And this is normal, but after that mind transformation, we will have to go on a physical transformation. So, with our habits, with our choices, and the way we live. And after that, we'll be ready to have a spiritual transformation as a society, a world society. And when we're gonna be able to do a balance between those three, a beautiful balance, we will be ready to open our art as a society and transform it and finally get to that 5D, the 5D that everybody's talking about. So let's get into the topic. Right before, I want to say welcome first, and let's say welcome. My name is Mick, and I'm going to be your host for today from D'un inconnu à l'autre. It's in French, it means from a stranger to another. And this is the title of my bilingual and now bilingual channel. If you want to go see my YouTube channel just here, it's Machiavemic. You got it on the screen right now. Machiavemick for people that are listening to the podcast. And if you want to see what it looks like real quick on the screen, it's gonna look like just let me go get it. Just like this, really simple. I have it's written English when my video is in English, really simple, and I have a bunch of video in French. I was talking about politics and everything back then, but I really want to focus on my spiritual things because there's a lot to learn about it. And second thing too, uh, just a little knowledge that I learned this week. Actually, I finished finally to read the Law of One. And in the Law of One, they talk about the tarot card, but not as a divination system. You know, we know a lot of fortune teller or medium that are using the tarot card, the deck card, to predict the future, whatever. But the real meaning? What is the real meaning of the tarot card? Is it's really that actually. The real knowledge about it. If you see the major arcanas here that I have on my screen, and if you see the seven first major arcana, it's all about the mind transformation. The other from 8 to 15. The other seven, it's body transformation, and the seven last is the soul transformation. So I won't explain every single one because I'm still working on that anyway. But you can have a good feeling just by yourself looking at it and looking at mind, body, spirit, and it is really. I'm really grateful that I encountered that knowledge because it's really interesting, and it's really about our transformation the transformation of the world, and also um, your day-to-day life little situation that you can encounter, and you're gonna see. So the topic now, the mind, body, spirit. Like I said, we see a beautiful transformation, and we gotta assist that transformation. We're gonna act in that transformation. And if you don't think there's a transformation right now, just look at the news, look at those rights that we have, that people are taking from us and everything in this holy name of the public health. Uh, Even if you believe in that, you have to acknowledge that we're transforming the society. And as as gods, yourself, myself, you can choose the transformation you're in it. You know, you can choose what do you want to do with that transformation. And at one point, you will have to learn. We will have to learn to live with ourselves, to manage ourselves, to be better human being. But it's part of the journey. This is part of what we should do. But how can we do this? Because the ultimate goal is really to open our art, and we will do it. It's gonna be quite easy after a while. So first thing first, um, we need to know ourselves. Knowing ourselves is the most interesting things, the most interesting topics to evolve. You know, to be stronger. Have a strong mind, have a strong body, and have a strong spirit too. When I talk about spirit, there was the Greek, like in antiquity, they were talking about body spirit. You know, this is why they had universities back then and a lot of great teachers, mathematics and everything, but also the Olympic Games and the workout of the body as a temple, because they were understanding a lot of things about how a human being is. And when I talk about the spirit, I also talk about um, you know, we can say just the theory of evolution. You know, we are all chemicals with the chemical way of thinking and everything with the brain, and but also spirits. We can split it in two separate way. You know, that's why I'm saying mind, body, spirit, because the spirit is the spirit of the mind, the way we think, the way we our reflections, but also it is our soul, our energy, our inner light. And we got to do the distinction between those two parts to really have three parts. We also have a fourth part that it is the emotional body, but the emotional body is more like the symptoms of the balance between the body, the mind, and the spirits. And if you have a good balance, you can have a better understanding of your own emotions. Um, and when we talk about spirituality, and next video I swear I'm gonna go into the spirituality topic, because it's a whole show by itself. I'm gonna explain more all what is the science behind spirituality, because there's things that we can prove about spirituality, and further along the way I'm gonna talk also about how we can reflex, how we can use our mind, but it's gonna be other videos because there's a lot to talk about it. But um, when we talk about spirituality, people can try to think that I'm talking about religion, you know, or I'm talking about witchcraft or a guru, you know, and do guru or something. But spirituality is not. And some people they can even say, I don't have a spirituality. It's not me. I'm not spiritual. And spirituality is not something you have or not. It's a part of you, like your body and like your mind. It's just another part that we tend to forget. But when we try to, or we want to feel it, we acknowledge that it's something, you know. And those three parts are what makes you. So we need, or you need to, and I need to actually, but we need to work out every single one of that part, like separately. And those parts are really entangled together, but there's also all separated from each other. And those parts, you know, the most easy way to talk about it is when I talk about the body, because we all know what the body is. how it's made and how to work it out. You know, there's so many disciplines that we can use to work out the body, like uh, like sports, like going to the gym, like walking, running, anything. You know, stretching. There's so many things, and there's also a lot of different discipline to work out the mind. You can read, you can write, you can watch documentaries, you can learn, you can go to school. There's different way to learn, and there's also school of life, you know, but with your experience and something. So it would make sense to say that for spirituality there is also many ways to work it out, and the religions are bringing many different ways to work out our spirituality. But at the same time, there's no secret way to do it. There's no like, okay, this is the only good way. We're all different. We all have different bodies. We all have different passions, different way to work out our body. It's the same thing for spirituality. We need to find just our way to do it and to connect with the thing we can connect, you know? And this is the way we're gonna try to learn more and to train more every single one of that part, and to make a balance between those three parts. And after that, it's more and more easy to control the feeling about those about that balance, you know. Um, because if you don't have a good balance, you will have positive. We always have positive and negative feeling, you know. It's part of being alive to experience that world. But less we're in balance with those three parts, and more we're gonna experience feelings as a roller coaster. So the ups will be really ups and the down will be really down. And what we want is to balance those emotions. To even the ups, we don't need to explode in joy or explode in sadness. We need to feel in harmony and peace, and it feels way better because more you're gonna have ups and you're gonna express those ups because you need to explode it. You need to burst it more. You're gonna feel those down, but with a decompensation. You know, you decompensate those those up and those down. But if you have a good balance, you will just feel in peace and good, and you're gonna be really grateful for those feelings, instead of expressing them and throwing them to everybody. You will just feel in peace with them, and this is the most beautiful thing, because after that you will be able to open your heart with those feelings. um, so every human being is different, and it's really hard to categorize everybody with those different share of our human being, of what we are, you know, mind, body, spirit. But when we're born, or by the way we live, we're more able um, we have a favorite side. You know, some people are really more physical. Some people are really more like minded or mind oriented. Some people are more spiritual, and it's a little bit more easy to react in our day-to-day life with um, that share of the body. You know, we have to deal with it. Let's say something happens in your life, you can say, oh, I'm going to think about it, or some other people can say, I'm going to act about it, or some other people will say, oh, it won't affect me. Body, mind, spirit, there's no good or bad way to deal with it. But at the same time, we got to be aware of which part first we have more ease to understand, we have more ease to act with, and there's no better way anyway. But we have a part that we have to work with, and that part will work as an axe to balance the others, if you want, because you're more comfortable to work with that part. But still, you have to keep the trap here is just to work with one part, because we still have to work out everyone. So if you work out too much your body and you feel tired or something, or your emotions are not there, you can leave your body, still like maintain a good health and working, a working basis. But you can, you know, let a little bit of one side apart, and work a little bit more on your mind, on your spirituality, to achieve the balance. You need to be strong on those three part to be really help. And I'm gonna go a little bit more in details about if you work just one part more than the others, you know. So let me just resume before starting to work on each individual part. We have three parts: mind, body, spirit, and those three parts will reflect on a fourth part, that is the emotional body. And if you get into the balance into those three parts, the emotional body will really respond really well with what you want and what you manifest in life, and also how you feel about everything that happens to you. And after a while, you will be able to open your heart, because you won't feel a roller coaster of emotions, but you will feel unconditional love inside of you. And it is that love, that light, because love is not an emotion. Love is a state of being. Love creates everything, you know. And when you're really able to feel that love, you can open it to everybody. And this is how we should connect to lead the next transformation in our life. And all those parts are entangled, but they are linked and they all separate at the same time. So you need to know yourself, and to with those three or those four parts, if you follow me, to really know the world. You cannot know the world if you don't know those parts inside of you, because the world is it's in those parts. The world or the universe is inside of you, and it experiences itself by your five senses, by those parts. So everything you see around you, it is the universe inside of you anyway. So you can see those parts inside of you and see the world outside afterwards. I hope you're following me right now. And like I said, it's like building a house anyway. You have to think, you have to start with the mind to plan your house and to know how to do it before building it. After that, you build it is the physical aspect of it. And after that, you decorate it and you make it more comfortable and more loving and everything. And after that, you feel the unconditional love for your house, and you're ready to open it to everybody else. And even if you say, oh, but my house, I want to keep it for myself, when you're gonna get there, you will feel the urge to show it to everybody else. So let's start with the head now, the mind. And I always said that it is the brain that helps us to think. But it is not the brain that thinks for us. We have to be really clear about that. The brain is like the computer that our soul is using to manifest itself in the present world. There's a subconscious and a conscious, and the soul use both to make us experience the life, to make the soul experience the body and the universe by a lot of electromagnetical and electrical impulse in your brain that will make everything work, you know. The brain is really complex as it is anyway. There's like the right and left side that are really opposite. We can say feminine or masculine. We have both anyway. In everybody has both sides, masculine and feminine, in their head. But also there's 6 different parts that always work together and separately for, let's say, the short-term memory, long-term memory, the capacity of reflection, the cognitive and motor capacities, um, all when we move the whole human body. We talk about the mind, body, spirit. The mind makes the body work, so it's so entangled in that way. But also the subconscious or the unconscious actions, you know, like digesting or the heartbeat or all this thing, the brain will manage it. So the brain is also physical, but it's also our mind, our way of thinking, and it is the computer that which the soul is using, is grabbing to control or to experience life. So it's a big factor, you know. And we have to say that there's many different types of intelligence too, and they're all important. For me, you know, the intelligent, being smart, you cannot compare or calculate it. There is the IQ, the intellectual quotient, that you can see, but for me it's kind of a joke, you know. It's like comparing muscle. with everybody. We know what men we like to compare muscle and everything, but at the same time, there's so many other way to be physical and to for our body to respond, to be healthy. Then the muscle is kind of a joke, and even there, it's not because you have big muscle that you're the strong, or more cut muscle, like all shaped and everything, that you're the strongest. It's just a contest who can look good with their disciplines. And for me, IQ is kind of this. Everybody is shiny, everybody is light, and everybody is divine, and everybody is smart their own way. My dad is the best example. My dad didn't get to university or whatever, and if I give him a test on something university, I don't know if he's gonna do good. But my dad, for me, is one of the smartest guy in the world, because he can repair or fix pretty much everything. He can build a house with his own hand. He's a mechanic, paint. He can do anything with a car. He can build cars. He can even sew with his hand. He literally do everything. For me, he is a genius. Even if in school he's not gonna be the more shiny, he's gonna be the best and the smartest person I know, actually. Because he can do pretty much anything with his hand. And if there's some degree in university that are even useless for a day-to-day life, but doing things with our hands, it's so important. So for me, my dad is smart. Even if he would have a IQ test, never know what he would score. And it's really important to know our mind, to know our mind works. First, because it is also our way to learn in life, and we learn every moment in life. We can learn, on every little detail. Something happens to us, and you can say, oh, it's silly, but you can still learn through that silliness. You can learn with everything. And when you learn how your mind learn, actually, you can learn, or you can maximize your learning. You maximize your learning by just knowing how you can learn, and just by observing and say, okay, my mind would learn like this. When I was in university, the first year that I was in university, I was just trying to type out my notes and everything, and to be good at at exams and everything. And I was so like focused on taking notes that I was not following the teacher, and I was like, okay, I should have another way to learn about it. And the second year and third year, I was bringing no notes whatsoever. I was lucky because some notes were online though, but I was just focusing on the teacher, and just to get the information inside of my mind, to be able to think with the information, and to build my mind with that information, instead of um, instead of building myself with some thing that I was learning by heart. And you see that just here, that diploma here, my degree, it's in communication and politics. And communication, we can say that it's a pretty easy degree to have. In my time, everybody was studying in communication, but at the same time, I'm so grateful for that gift. I didn't even want to go in that field with politics, but I'm so grateful because it brought me all the knowledge, or the way I think right now. I never really worked with that degree, actually, per se, but I still it developed myself, or my mind, the way it is right now, by knowing how to learn and to think by myself. And thinking by yourself, having your sovereign mind, is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself. Because you know what, and especially what with how we think right now with the COVID and everything, especially, I'm gonna say, you are smart enough to think for yourself. You are smart enough to think for your health. You are smart enough to shine. You are smart enough to gather information and to reflect by yourself. And some people, they will say that no, we need to be told things, but that is not true. Yes, there's smart things and there's discernment to have, and you can learn how to learn. You can learn how to get this information and to make your own idea, because nobody can take that from you. Nobody can tell you, oh, I'm gonna take your right to think by yourself. It's not even a right, and all the rights anyway, it's not something someone can take you away. It's not a thing that you possess. Your rights is who you are. Your rights is you are born as human, like the people that who they try to take away your rights. You're equal. It's not things you have and you can be removed. It's a state of being. You are human, you are divine, and you have rights, you know. And you have the right to think for yourself, for sure, because you're smart enough, and everybody is smart enough when they put the effort to do it. So the mind is the central point when we need to reflect, when we need a reflection, when we need to think. And some people, they think that they can uh, they, they they have to think with their mind and to make decision with their heart, you know. But actually, it's kind of the opposite. I think we should follow our heart when our heart is pure, and when we have a coaster of emotion, when we don't have the balance between those three parts, it's really hard to follow our heart, because our heart will be like really in a roller coaster of emotion. But when we make a good balance between the mind, the body, and the spirit, we will be able to cut off that roller coaster of emotion and think with our unconditional love. And this is the way we should follow our heart and still make decision with our mind, because we're smart and we have to discern what is right from wrong, and you can do it. We just have to really focus on our heart and make decision with our mind. The people who don't do that, they're not like sad or happy or proud or guilty. They just a little bit like, and I'm not saying that to be mean. Nobody is really that. But if we just think with our mind only and solely with our mind, we will be like robots, you know. And this is how the government or the system want us to think. And like ironically, they're removing jobs to make robots work instead of people, because they're more productive. And if you want to keep your job, you have to be a robot. But we're not. We have three different parts and our emotional body to deal with that, and we cannot suppress that anyway. And we need to follow the voice in our heart. Actually, we have some neurites in our on our heart. Science tells it, and it's like so they're like some neurons, but on our heart. So it's really a communication between the heart and the mind all the time, and we gotta acknowledge that. So we have to make decision with our head, not with thinking too much, not with a roller coaster of emotion, but with real wisdom, you know, knowing. And this is how we should build a house. With wisdom, we have to gather information to be able to build the house, and after that, we need to build it, you know. And so risk zero, and it is good for the situation right now that we have. Risk zero in life doesn't exist. We cannot stay in risk zero or reach a risk zero. If you want to build a house, even if you study all, like your mind is focused like all your life in how to build a house, when you're gonna get into it, there's some unpredictable things that can happen. There's no zero risk. You gotta do it, you know. And taking no risk is so risky, because you will stop to learn at one point, because you learn from the risks, and you learn from the mistakes too. It is part of life. So you just have to be wise enough to gather your information to build your house, and then you can do it. Period. It's simple as it. But you gotta be ready with your mind to do it. And this is it. Thinking with your mind, you know, and planning with your mind. It is to follow your heart with what you like, with your passions, with your love, with your light, and think with your mind and make decision with your mind. But following your heart without that roller coaster of emotion, and to provide that roller coaster of emotion, you gotta have a good balance between the three parts. Let's get into the body part now. The body, it's a bit like the most the most easy thing to work out, or the most tangible thing to work out. Everybody sees the body, you know. If you see the picture I showed you, it is the workout thing, it is the health. There's many component about working on the body. There's the diet, there is the life habits, there's also the sports, the workout and everything. But everybody knows how to work a body. I don't know if everybody knows how to work their own body, but because everybody is unique, but still everybody knows how to work a body, to make sport, to eat healthy, and everybody. And it's kind of a uh, we're at a part right now when we have to make decision, because there's a lot of bad thing in our food, and you know, with our TVs and everything. But at the same time, everybody can do it, can go out and find their own way to work their own body. The body is made with like chair muscle, bones, with all the system, cardiovascular. The brain is part of the body, the lymphatic, the immune system, and everything. And even with the crisis we see right now, they try to make us think that our body is not strong enough to survive. But your body is your temple. You can make the strongest temple because you're divine. You're a divine builder, and you have to work on your temple um, to make a home for your mind and to make a home for your spirit. So if the mind is the leader on making decisions, the body is the one who's gonna make everything strong, who's gonna is gonna make the house for your mind and for your spirit to grow in. So more your body is able to make your mind and your soul grow in it, more you're gonna be able to do it. So it's really important to be really healthy, to be in shape, to be able to move with your cognitive senses, with your cognitive and motor capacities, to have a lot of energy, because your physical energy and the food you put in your belly, it's gonna be the essence of your spiritual energy as well, you know. Um, but there's a lot of people, maybe you can say that they put a little bit too much of importance on the physical body, you know. And our society is doing that since we're really young. We have to look good, we have to wear beautiful clothes. If you want a good job, you can be smart as, but if you don't look good, if you don't present yourself as good looking, as good talker, you won't be able to have a good job. And I try to blame a little bit on the superficiality of the society, you know, because we don't believe in what we don't see. We can see a little bit of the mind, but we see everybody's body, you know, and it becomes the most important part in a superficial society, and it's important at a certain extent, but we should acknowledge that it's as important as the mind and as of the soul, you know. When we try to find our soulmate or our lover, good looking, it's good, but when you grow up, after a while you're like, okay, I need to find a good soul and a good mind. I need conversations, you know. It's also the thing that if you want to skip um, the mind process, the how to build your house, and you try to build your house and build your house and build your house, and you put all your focus on building your house, too much focus on building your house, that doesn't mean your house is going to be real strong, you know. It's going to maybe look good because you spend a lot of times on it, but it's going to even maybe break apart because you need a way to do it. It's the same thing with working out on your body, you know. All those bodybuilders and everything, it doesn't maybe some people they're doing it in the right way, but I met a guy, shout out to that guy, I love him so much. I learned a lot from him lately. But this is what he's done. He was a bodybuilder at 16 or 17, even a little bit before, and he had the opportunity to go in LA to work his body, but he kind of wrecked his body. He's working, and now 10 years later, he's still working on healing his wounds, because he worked so much on working out his body, but he was a product of some people wanted him to be a product about being a bodybuilder, and he kind of didn't know, and he was a little bit young, so it's not his fault at the beginning, but at the same time, he's still working on it, so he learned it the hard way, and this is why he became the man he is right now, a beautiful soul, and he's working on his soul and his mind so much that it's beautiful, but he had to learn it the hard way. um, and we have to know that the body is really linked with the other part. It's really linked with the brain, because the brain is the center of the focus and the cognitive movement, the motor movement. So you need the head to work the body. But the body is also linked to the spirit, to the soul. It is really really hard to work out your spirit when your body is all like messed up, or it's really like broken, or it's in disorder. You need to make an order inside of your work plan, and a comfort inside your work plan to be able to work on your body. So the three parts are really really entangled. Look at depression, like just for an example. Depression, if we look at as it like in a medical field, it's a chemical imbalance. So you need to take chemicals like pills and everything to rebalance your neurochemical chemistry to be able to get out of that depression. But if you look at it as a psychological factor, you see that it's also your mind that is kind of messed up. It's a little bit. You think too much. You think about bad things. You have to work on yourself and talk to yourself and look at you in the mirror and talk to yourself, and you have to fix your mind too. And if you look at it at a spiritual point of view, it might be also either a trauma from that life or another life, or it can be also you're really low energy, you're surrounded with a lot of negative energy and everything. So depression, it's a good example to see the three part into one problem, and you have to work on the three parts separately but all together. Because if you get sick, let's say your body will get sick, your mind will be affected and your soul will be affected. If your mind gets sick, your body and your soul will be affected, etc. So we need to create a balance, and they all touch to each other. All those parts touch with each other. But this is by planning with your mind your house, building it with your physical body, that you will be able to accommodate it to be comfortable inside. So they're entangled, and you have to work them a separate way each. But the body is really essential to everybody. Life, we all saw some video on Facebook of some people that are disabled, or they have like disability, or either they're born with it, or they had an accident or something, and they still work it out because they're really like physically oriented. They worked it out to literally make miracle. They make miracles, and you say, wow, if that person can do it, I can do it. And it's true. You can just bring your inner light and do it for yourself. You need motivation, you need ambition, you need a lot of things for yourself. But when your body is set at the right place, you're really really open to bring your soul comfortably in your body, and it is as beautiful as it is, you know and for me, and I'm gonna say that for every different part of it, but for me, I had an accident when I was 18 on my body, and my collarbone was really like wrecked. And even some physio, they told me that, and I was 18, I didn't know nothing. But there was a physio that told me that it was wrecked for life. And I was like, and I couldn't push nothing. I was kind of, I don't know. And after a while, I started to be journalist in a really like local newspaper. I was self-employed or whatever, and I had the chance to interview one of the strongmen. Actually, he had the world record at that time. Hugo Girard is from Quebec, and I interviewed. And at the end of my interview, I asked him, "What can I do with my collarbone?" And he said, "I don't know your body and your condition, so I cannot tell you what to do, but I can tell you what not to do." And this is a great tips that can apply to everything that you struggle in life. The worst thing to do is to do nothing. You know what I mean? Even if you know, the worst thing to do, as long as you listen to your body, you listen to your mind, and you listen to your soul, the worst thing to do it's to do nothing. You have to keep working out in align with what you feel, your body, your mind, and your spirit. This is the way we grow as people and as a society. You know, this is just the way we should do it. And you have to learn just how to set your limits, how to push them but not too far, to listen to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, just to be able to know where when to stop too, huh? Because knowing your body, it's the most essential aspect of what you can work on. You know, it's so essential because it's the temple of your energy, and it's your temple of what you can bring to yourself and you can bring to other people. And after that, you're gonna bring the best vibe to show people how you can shine, you know, with the best temple that you have. And now I can talk about the spirit. The spirit. Um, it's really a topic that is a little bit more kind of hard to talk about because we need to believe in it, but we feel we feel it inside of us, you know, because the spirit, the soul is the most important thing that you have in yourself because it's eternal, you know. Um, you have your body that is kind of a borrowed. You can use it and you can like not use. I mean, we are born, we are dead. We have a beginning and an end with our body, with our mind too. It's so linked with our body, our brain, and everything. But there is that spiritual, that spirit, or that energetical body. I'm gonna talk more about that like in the next show. You have to see it. It's really interesting, the science behind the spirituality, how we can kind of prove it. But when I close my eyes and I think about myself, my real self, you know, the soul, the light body that use my brain and my body to experience that life, I cannot think about when I'm gonna end. You know, when my life's gonna end, I can think that my body and there's something after life or whatever, but I cannot think that it's just black and I disappear. I cannot think about that. I cannot, you know, and I cannot too think that I had no beginnings. In my mind, it's not like my soul was born. It's like I forgot something or whatever, and I'm not allowed to think about it in that life, but I always been there. And this is the way I see my spirituality, you know. And like I said, spirituality is more about our soul, our light body that grabs our brain or that makes our brain. It's our spiritual body that creates the old body and everything, you know. And if you see like some information or studies about reincarnations, because there's a lot of there's a big body of evidence that reincarnation, it's the thing. If you look at uh, science, let's say, and even physical traits are repeating from life to life. So it's really the soul that is bringing the body to create itself, and the mind, and it's grabbing the brain to experience life, you know, with things that we are allowed to experience in that life and things that are more innate or more like subconscious. But we cannot know everything that I'm talking about for real. It's kind of a theoretical, but we have to have a big, beautiful grasp of on our soul. The only thing that I really know is that the soul and the emotional body are really entangled. They're really linked together. So the soul, maybe the emotions are the language of the soul. You know, if the soul is comfortable in your home, in your temple, in your body, with your mind, the emotion will be more in peace. You know, if it's the disorder in your place and you're listening to loud music, even if you're happy, you will want to dance and to express it, you know. But if it's calm and zen, you're just like, ah, I feel good, you know. And this is how you can control yourself more and control your surrounding. And when you control yourself more, you control your what happens in your life more. And this is what you want, because the the goal of life, it's not joy but it's happiness, and it's two different things. And I'm gonna have a video on that too later on. All my videos are in French, so I can tell what I'm gonna talk about later on. And I have one on the making the difference between joy and happiness. Anyway, we can feel there's a part inside of us, a energetical part or a light part that doesn't belong to the physical world that we're in it, you know. That doesn't be it doesn't belong to our way or our capacity of moving, of thinking, of feeling. There's something more divine that makes us, you know, and all the things that are not explainable in that life are from that domain. You know, it's mystic, but we have that part inside of us, and this is the part we can connect with each other, our inner light. And when we meet in my book, I was meeting a lot of stranger, and this is when you feel. When you connect with a stranger and you feel a connection, even when you get apart and you leave, and you still feel that strong connection that is even outside of time and space, you feel that something is beyond that physical body, and it is the soul, you know. And this is why some people you can they live 15 minutes away and you can see them all the time and you don't feel link, and you meet someone in life and you see him like twice in your life. He lives in Italy, and since you still have that solid bond that outside time and space, you have that light and that connection that connects you with everybody else. And even if you don't agree, I'm pretty sure deep down you felt it once or twice in your life, and this is the soul connection. This is the light we can connect, and this is by and with connecting that life with everybody that we can evolve to the next level. And this is what I call soul. And this part is so much important. It's so important. And how can we work it out? You know, we can work out the mind, the body, but how can we work out the soul? And the soul is, you know, we're all unique, so there's no one way. Religions can bring knowledge to people how to do it in their way, but there's a lot of corruption, you know, like in politics, like everywhere. But if you find your own way by relaxing, by meditating, by writing your thoughts, by communicating with nature, breathing in nature, walking, and being grateful, by looking at the blue sky, the greens in the tree, you can be connected with that spirituality. It's simple, you know. Some people think that by with doing yoga, you have to you can um, I mean the physical part of yoga, you can work out on your spirituality. But if you see yoga as a sport, like you gotta go like hard and you gotta do it and stress about it and being better and have pain and everything, it's not. You will work your body for sure, but it will not be the way to work your soul, your spirituality. Everything is relaxed in spirituality. Everything is in it. It is the way to manage our emotional body, you know. But if you do just spirituality and you don't work out your mind and you might first seem a little bit crazy because you have no temple, or a messy temple in disorder to put all your and to try to feel comfortable in it. um, and you will a little bit you will not be able to manage your emotion as well as if you have a balance between those three, you know. You need to have a balance between those three to make your spirituality work. And this is when you can really be yourself, you know, and become and understand spirituality not as craziness or as witchcraft or spirits or something, but just by being your own energy, being your own temple, being your own soul. And this is the way you can work your spirituality, because life is hard. I won't hide that to you. I won't like life is hard, and especially now with the COVID things and everything, we have to manage our emotion better than we are doing right now because we're feeling it in worldwide. And I know it's, you know, it's so pissing everybody off. It's really hard to manage our emotion when our rights are removed. But let's be stronger than those people, and let's say I can deal with myself, and it needs a lot of sacrifice. But you know what? You can deal with yourself because you are your own God and you are your own savior. If you wait for another saviors, even Q or God or Jesus, or you have to find your own God inside of yourself to save yourself, and after that, maybe a savior will appear. You know. And about Q and everything, it's really fun. It's really nice if they can like remove the corruption or something, but you will be your own savior at the end of the day, and you need to acknowledge that for sure with your own soul because you are your own God. what is God actually, huh? Because if we think about the creation of yourself, of spirituality, of the soul, of your human being, there's a lot of things that we can call God, you know? Some people can call it God, some people can call it the nature, mother nature, some people can just call it synchronicities or even coincidences. But if we, it's just a matter of etymology and word at that point, because there is something that is happening out there, even coincidences that makes you who you are. So you got to acknowledge that those coincidences, in fact, even if they're not like really linked together, they are God itself, because they are creating something bigger. They are creating you, your inner God. So just that is amazing. Um, and think about how many coincidences that brought you to life. Even just the little spermatozoid that there was like millions of spermatozoid, even more, that find the eggs and everything, just that. And after that, just leaving your house every day 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after can change your life forever. Every of those coincidences, I don't think they're like random, but even if they're random, they lead your life at a point that we can call it God, you know? And you are your God, you are the one who choose on top of that. But since there's something that we have to acknowledge there, that it's really divine inside of yourself and in your life, in your inside world and in your outside world, and that created us, you know. And there's a lot of theory about what brought our race, even like like aliens theories, Anunnakis, and everything. But at one point, we have our own free will, and every religion is talking about our own free will, the free will of having our own choice and our own choices. Sorry, and also to be our own God and make our own decision, you know. And just a feeling that we can know ourselves with serenity and with peace and with harmony, because harmony, it's all about that, huh? When you think about the word harmony in music, it's about putting different vibration together to make a perfect sound, to make a sound that is more complete with each other, you know. And the goal is to create an harmony between your three vibrations, with your body, your mind, and your spirit. And after that, maybe you can feel better, you know. And you can feel better in your body by stretching and working it out. You can feel better with your mind. Your mind will be more clear, more and more fast. You know, you realize that you can learn even faster and more things, and you make link between things just because you work it out. And your soul, when you feel better with your soul, you can achieve pretty much everything, you know. Because if you connect those three parts and work out on your emotional body, you realize that everybody is connected inside of themselves with their own God, with their own soul, but also we can connect that part with each other, you know, because you know what? At the end, we have to realize that we all one, and this is the way we are all just one, by connecting that light, that inner God, with serenity, with harmony, with peace, and with love with each other. Unconditional love. And some people, they can think that we are a brain in a body, but it's really our soul that is make us experience that life. And the goal of that life, it's live and learn. It's simple. What is the meaning of life? Live and learn. Live and learn. We have to live. We have to experience and be grateful for every beautiful and sad experience that you have, because the beautiful experience, it's beautiful, you know. It is the blue of the sky, the green of the trees. It is amazing. A beautiful sunset, sunrise, the water, we live in a beautiful world, and we have to acknowledge it. And the sad experience will make you learn. So it's lean and learn, and you live that life to make your soul learn, to be better and to be more in peace with itself, because every lesson that you have to learn about, it's all about either either acceptance or forgiveness, acceptance and forgiveness of yourself, and acceptance and forgiveness of each other. This is the way you can learn in life, and you can grow your soul to be better. And once you're at that point, you can connect with each other. You can help them to realize that they are gods as well as you are, you know. And we don't need the government, and we don't need any rules when you're there and you just want to share with other people with unconditional love. you are there, and you can really do your own work to get there by balancing the mind, the body, and the spirit. And it's really important to really separate all those parts and work every single one of those parts. So I have a little like exercise to suggest you if you want to do it, because you can work those parts every little moment of your life. So how can you do that? It's like a little bit, when you work out in a gym or something, when you focus on the muscle that is working out, I feel you have better results, because you focus how your muscle works, and you can make it work it better. It's the same thing with your mind and your spirituality. If you realize that this is that part that works out right now in your life, you can make it work better. So what my suggestion here is to say that every day you have to realize at least one exercise or one moment of the day where you work out one in each part. So something happened in your life, you have a 30-minute walk, so like, oh, my body really worked on that, and that 30-minute walks, you happen to you had 20 minutes in the forest, and you stopped in the forest and you just breathe. You breathe, and you realize that your spirituality is working right now. And after that, you saw a weird mushroom in the forest. You go and at your place, you're online, and you look, oh, what kind of mushroom that was, and you make your mind work. And that's it. If you do that every day for every little aspect of your day, you will be able to realize that those three parts work together, and they work individually in the way that is going to make you evolve as a human being. And when you start to evolve from yourself, you will bring an evolution, a deeper evolution in the world, in your surrounding, by talking about it, but also just the energy that you bring to the world in your consciousness will bring a better evolution for everybody else too. And this is how we will bring a positive evolution to everybody, by working out inside of ourselves, and then sending it to the world, and we will create a better future for everybody else too. It is amazing as it is, and I suggest that you can do it like every day. Just look at every of those three aspects, and you will feel, I promise you will feel better with your emotion if you do that. If you need a way to work your roller coaster of emotion, do that, and you will be grateful about that. I think not for me, but for yourself, because you will realize that you're divine, and you can do it with yourself, for yourself. And this is what bring me to talk about the emotional body. Um, the Because when you make a good balance out of it, you bring an unconditional love, a God's unconditional love that is inside of you. And when you learn how to make your house, to build your house, when you do it, when you decorate your house with your soul, with your passions, with what you like, and you sit down there and you're comfortable and you're in peace, you're like, wow, I love my house. I want to show it. I want to show it to everybody, because I want them to feel as comfortable as I am, because I love them. I don't need to be angry anymore. I don't need, because I'm so good in my house that I'm able to show it to everybody. So and for men like me, like other people, even if I'm really a feminine man and I acknowledge it, but it's a little bit hard to talk about feelings, how you feel, if you feel more sad or happy, or but we have to go there, because communicationally, if we talk about communications, and I'm going to talk about it in another video, but even when we are angry um, at one person, it's not because we're really angry at it. It's because we want to connect with that person, and we're like, oh, I want to connect so bad. I want us to love each other so bad that it gets me angry. I want you to understand me, and I want you to think like me, because I want to love you. So even when you get angry at someone, it's still a matter of love. This is what we want. We want to feel good, and love is not an emotion per se, but is it a state of being. It is what creates everything, and all the emotions that are around that. They can be a roller coaster. They can like change from one to the other, but love stay as it is itself, and this is what build the community and the bond we have within each others and with each other. When we talk about communications, there's three ways to understand a communications. At least three ways. There's some people that are more visual. They understand more when they see things, when they see what they have in front of their eyes. And there's some people they understand more when they are more they listen to it. They're like, okay, I have to listen to it to understand. But there's another people, and I would say like pretty much everybody's like this without really like knowing it, but it's called kinesthetics. It is learning or getting a message by feeling how you feel about it. A lot of people like me, I need to do it and to feel what I do to learn things. Even if someone tells me or show me 1,000 times, I will learn the only time I'm gonna do it because I need to feel it with my emotion. This is how you learn. And if you have a roller coaster of emotion, it's gonna be really hard to learn in life. But if you really like enjoy and be grateful for what you have, learning will be so much more easy for you because it's all about feeling and sensations. Um, you just have to feel it and to learn, because it's the most important thing is life. To feel good and to feel happy and to feel joyful at a certain extent. And if you're not happy, you have nothing. You can say, I need to have that goal. I need that thing's going to make me happy. But we have to first make a distinction between happiness and joy. But at the same time, we can say, I need that or this, or I want to be there or that. But the only thing we want in life, everybody is the same thing, is just to be happy. And this is where we want to be. And this is with working with those three parts that we can reach the real and true peaceful happiness. And those feelings that we have, those sensations become so good, so beautiful inside of you that you understand the meaning of life through those sensations. um, and this is a little bit why some people sometimes they take risky decisions, with their head, because they want to get there or this to to uh, to reach that happiness. But we surely need to follow our heart in harmony to get, because our heart will bring you where we need to be, not where we want, but where we need to be. And this is a little bit like the job of life itself, to bring you where you deserve and when you need to be. And when your art is at the good place, at the beautiful place, in peace, life's gonna give you everything you need and more. And life's gonna give you what you deserve, because you're divine. And more you recognize that divinity inside of yourself, more your life's gonna give you what you need to evolve. And this is a beautiful secret in life. But you gotta understand how to manage your emotion and how to manage your spirituality, your body and your mind, to go there, to get there. And this is the way it is. The art, mostly for men, but we have men and women side inside of us. It is the artist part of us, to work on, because we don't want to show our feeling. We don't want to, and it's so, the feeling pain is the worst pain we can have, because it stays with us even for a long time. um, Opposite to the physical pain, that it goes away pretty fast, in matter of months sometime. But the emotional pain can stay there and can traumatize us for a while. And we don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to be sensitive to that pain. We don't want to be fragile. So it's kind of tough to open our heart at that point, to let other people in, because we're so afraid that they hurt us. But pain or fear, it's an illusion itself. I mean, if I hit myself, I'm gonna be in pain for sure. But it's a pain that my body itself generates, and emotional pains too. It's not about like stopping people to hurt you. It's about being strong enough that people cannot hurt you, because you know yourself. It's all about knowing yourself, and when you know yourself, you know that you can be God. And God, you know If a good friend of you is hurting you, maybe he's not a good friend or she's not a good friend anymore, and that's it. Maybe she's in pain and she want to share her pain with you. There's a deeper meaning inside of violence into pain than just pain for pain. And when you notice that, and when you know that, you don't need to prove it. You don't need nobody to tell you if you're strong or not. When you know it, you know it. And pain and fear is just something you create yourself to either act like as a victim or act as fragile, because you need that fragility to get over yourself, you know. But at one point, when you're really in balance with your body, mind, body, spirit, you can just put pain away and say, okay, or acknowledge your pain and say, I can deal with it, you know. Even physical pains, there's some monks that are working really well with their physical pains. For me, I feel that when I focus on my pain, even my physical pain, it hurt less than when I try to do something and my pain gets in my way, you know. I'm like, oh, it's just a physical sensation, like cold or hot. It's not like really, it sucks, actually, pain, but at the same time it's just a physical sensation, and I gotta put it away, you know. And emotional pain is like this too. And even when we're angry, sometimes we're not even aware of the real emotions that we have. Maybe when you agree, deep down, subconsciously, you're in pain. Maybe if you're jealous, you're just really tired of a situation. Maybe if you want something, if you're like have resentment over someone, maybe you have a resentment to yourself. The art is really able to spread the best and the worst inside of yourself. But you know what? If you had good ambition and a good will to know yourself, you can choose literally with your head to let your heart talk or not, and to calm your heart, to talk to yourself. And it's the job of your head, of your mind, to calm your heart and to let you and to say, no, it's gonna be okay. You are strong. You're gonna survive. And I know you went into a lot of deep shit in your in your life, a lot of things that went wrong. Everybody did. Maybe you had more worse than the others, but you know what? You're there and you're listening to that, and you're strong, and you went through those things, really in a divine way, and you're there, so you can live other things, and it is a matter of your head and your body and your spirit to get over those things, and you are strong enough to do it, right? So just do it, um, because it's a matter of sacrifice. If you live a problem and you want to switch it, you have the power to switch it and to be better. Are you willing to sacrifice things in your life to do it? It is a matter of choice. Still, it is just a matter of choice, but you can do it, because and it's easier to do it when you have a balance between your mind, body, and spirit, because you don't have that roller coaster of emotions after that, and you're more able to make a communication between your mind and your heart, because your mind is at the right place, your body is in shape, you have the energy you need, you have the strength you need, your physical strength will translate into your mental and your spiritual strength, and your spirituality will guide you, but also will manage to make you feel more in peace with who you are, because you know what, you realize that you are God and you're divine, and it is the most beautiful thing in life. Your spiritual evolution, I'm going to repeat it every video, I think, but your spiritual evolution, it is the most beautiful thing that happens in life. If you know physics a little bit, everything in life has an opposite force. You know, you push something, you have an opposite force that push something. Everything in life has an opposite, except the spiritual path. The spiritual path is sovereign and is just going in one direction, in one way, you know. If you want to go against, there's a karma, like gravity, that will bring you, and you will just go a little bit sideways and you will go on your path. And more you want to hit hard with something that is out of your path, more the karma will bring you on your way. And this is how it's done, you know. So your spiritual path is keep evolving and evolving. Even if you make bad choice or good choice, there's no bad choice, it's just worse consequences, you know. But it's gonna always bring you to where you need to be to evolve in the mind, body, spirit area, to be able to open your heart, because the next step of evolution is not to be perfect. It's not to open all our chakras and perfect our energy and being like all Jesus or something. It's the next step of evolution is to open our heart, and you can open your heart by just making a balance between the mind, the body, and spirit. And after that, when you know how to build your home, you build it, you put all the furniture, the decoration, and you feel good in your home, and you feel peace in your home. You can open it to everybody, and if everybody feel good in their homes, and people are inviting each other, and they're helping, and they share with each other, I swear this is the future, and this is how we can transform the world to the better. But we have to start from within yourself. We have to know ourselves first, and after that we can throw it to the outside world and create a better world. And that's where, even if we're in crisis right now, we can do it. And this is where we're going to go, everybody together as one, because we are one, all connected with that unconditional love. My name is Mick, and I'm really happy that I'm grateful that I have the chance to talk to you with that technology and everything. Please subscribe to my channel if you like that video. Share it, and I'm gonna try to share it more and more. And my channel here is Machavimick, Machavemick. It's on the screen right now, and you can find me easily on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Then. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you all, and I want to say, just stay informed about those things, stay strong, and stay ready, because you never know what's going to happen. But I love you guys, and this is what matters. Namaste.